take down that Kraken and solidify their position.
Sneaky, sneaky plays. The double attack coming out. Queasy dropping low. The gauntlet's here. Ingenious. He's going to look the kite back, getting his attacks off, resetting the jump jets. Queasy, he cannot trade this damage. He's too low right now. The Quadrabot stands his ground. He's the front line for his team. The one shot will connect onto Mango. Mango with the healing flask stands his ground, trading out the bad mojos. And he's doing such a great job right now, just being the, the front line for his team with that sustain. He does such a great job, just spamming the bad mojos, slowing his opponents, and with the Ordained, you really have to pick your battles moving within range.
Yeah, Rox have recognized that Impunity have backported here, but their little excursion into the jungle to check that has meant that they're not going to get anything off the health bars that they deleted. No turret going down. They're not able to find themselves advantage. Instead, they reset, but look at this. A bold move from Impunity. They have so much ability to take down this Kraken. Man, they don't know. They don't know. It's just going to be a Kraken going over to Impunity.
PQQ! PQQ! No! Okay, he doesn't get it. Impunity unleashed the Kraken 16 minutes into this game. A slight lead in net worth, but the momentum is there. Can they ride this on?
That was poor rotation from Rox Armada. They took Impunity down. Queasy was low. DefQ could not fight anymore. At that point, you make a decision. We burst down our first turret, or we burst down the Kraken. They did neither. They backported, and now the Kraken is marching against them, and Impunity are showing that they want this far more than Rox Armada.
Rox on the back foot, a bend don't break situation. DefQ moving in here, looking for an opening potentially. Ion Cannon will come down, just doing a little bit more of a defensive play with that one. Ingenious consistently jump jetting backwards. DefQ jumping in onto Mango, maybe going a little bit too far there, eating a lot of damage, but it's okay at this point. Quadrabot still holding his fountain. It looks like Impunity are going to go ahead and give up on this one. Kraken takes down the choke point turret by itself. Impunity making wonderful plays at this point.
Yeah, and they take the Crystal Sentry as well. 3 objectives gained, 4 if you count the Kraken.
PQQ over the wall! He stands up DefQ! Able to get one, now the Fearsome Shade. Looks like it's going to be just, he clips him right there. Now Impunity trying to run away, but this is the fight for Rox. Queasy's going to go down. What an amazing turn of events for Rox. They smelled this advantage, and they jump forward. Ingenious is going to get the double attack on the Quadrabot. Can they chase this down? It looks like they can. A bad mojo and Ordained. Quadrabot has to stand his ground. The Crystal Sentry wants to protect his Turnwalker, but get Fearsome Shaded into the wall. Rox Armada come back. They take the ace.
They do take the ace. It was an overstay coming out of Impunity, and what fabulous captain making coming out of PQQ. A Gauntlet stun, a Crucible to block up the active camo and allow Rox to chase and find 2. They're going to get themselves their first turret here and start closing the gap, but is it going to be enough to bring them back to even is the question, or has Impunity gained enough momentum in this game? We're getting to a very hard point for a DefQ to have influence. The emphasis now is on Queasy and Quadrabot to make the plays, and DefQ just to provide threat at this point. The big thing about Akoshka when we start hitting these late game points is that the Yummy Catnip Frenzy, whilst a very influential ability, is actually more threatening than when held than when used, especially considering the reflex blocks at this point are just so easy to hit. And so for DefQ, it's very unlikely that a Yummy Catnip Frenzy comes out until very late into a team fight after they've potentially burst down Ingenious, because it is more a threatening tool, a constant reminder that they can engage on you.
Ordained onto DefQ. He will be stunned up, eating a little bit of damage out of Ingenious, but holding his Aegis and reflex block now. Hook and chains, Quadrabot doing a great job there to be the frontline for his team one more time, but the Gauntlet's going down. Queasy, he's on the backside. I'm not sure they know exactly where he is at this point. Now, nothing's going to come of this Gauntlet just yet. Echo's on cooldown. He's going to drop the second Gauntlet. DefQ stunned up. Double attacks coming in, and he'll jump to his death. Pouncy Fun leading him to his demise. Quadrabot caught out and chopped down. Rox Armada up 12-3. Oh, they found Queasy. Now he's going to find the stun. Mango dropping low, but Queasy, he'll lead a lot of a double attack right there. That's the second ace of the game for Rox. Now up 13-4. We're almost 20 minutes into this game, suddenly blowing it wide open.
That was a Another one of those moves from Impunity where they had an idea but they couldn't execute on it. I think the communication there between DefQ, Cote d'Ivoire, and QC was just not as clean and pristine as it could have been there. DefQ needed to fight due to the fact that the double gauntlet came down. And you know, we haven't talked about it, but Mango did go towards that echoed Fearsome Shade. In fact, he skipped out a Clockwork to do so. Usually you build Clockwork so you can just provide so much damage, a double bad mojo during your empowered state with your heroic perk. But instead, they understand they do not need to have that much damage coming from the Batiste because Ingenious has 3 Tyrant's Monocles and a Sorrow Blade. He can do it all against this very squishy roster Impunity have drafted here. This next team fight is break it time for Rox Armada. They can break open the base of Impunity and start to win back some respect of their peers.
All right, Queasy, now is the time to make some really big plays. Suddenly, it's Impunity on the back foot. They're going to do as much damage as they can to this Kraken without being engaged upon, but it's easier said than done as Mango waiting in the wings. Ordained is down. Maybe an opportunity to jump in, but with the hook and chains onto 2, they're going to go ahead and rethink things here. Cote d'Ivoire doing a great job, and now's the time. The gauntlet will come down. The stuns up Cote d'Ivoire. Second gauntlet comes down. Venn diagrams will find another stun to jump forward. Fearsome Shade blocked off. Is this an opportunity to maybe turn it around? Mango taking a whole bunch of damage. Dropping down low. Impunity jump in. Yellow Cannon Frenzy will land onto Mango. Mango, but they turn it around. Mango goes down. Traded 1 for 1. Cote d'Ivoire trespass. They will get it. They got 2. They got the ace. Kraken's down. Impunity turn it around.
Cote d'Ivoire is a monster. That was the biggest trespass I've ever seen, and where are Impunity going, Humanus? They're running across the house.
Where are Impunity from?
They're from Singapore.
Oh, it's so good.
What a monstrous play coming out of Impunity. Cote d'Ivoire's usage of trespass there was insane. The Kraken is
take it up. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the last Vein Crystal turret down. Now Queasy, light this Vein Crystal up.
Oh, no.
Oh, you made a mistake.
Oh, no.
What did you do? What did you do? Rocks have turned it around. Oh man. Feels real bad, man.
Wow. What are Rox going to do from this? Mango has backported.
Where's DefQ?
They don't know where DefQ is.
Where's DefQ?
The vision isn't there.
Keep your eyes on this gosh.
All right, they've spotted him.
Okay, they got a scout trap down there.
Don't do it, DefQ. They know where you're going.
DefQ? Oh, port back, yes.
He's dead.
With the flare down. Uh-oh. He's going to jump in now, make it. Run! Run, DefQ, run! Run, DefQ, run! You got 18 seconds until the casserole's up. Cue the Benny Hill theme song. Pouncy Fun, Twirly Death. He's onto the Vein Crystal. Second attempt for Impunity. Let's just buy some time. Dude, he's trying to avoid the ace right now. He can't do it. DefQ, he tried so hard.
DefQ bought so much time for Impunity there. Rox have recognized that right now, the only way they win a game is an ace against QC and Cote d'Ivoire. Ooh, it's time
They're
to
gonna
take
let
a
this
deep
reset,
breath.
right?
It's going to reset very potentially. I think Rox will push up towards the base because if they are able to find that team fight and burst down that Kestrel, then they can take something. But look at that, Kraken has spawned, it's been spotted out. The one shot has connected, but they cannot push up because of this death trap bush that is sitting. Cote d'Ivoire's ran past it. The Kestrel's gonna walk straight into it.
Oh, no, don't do it. Active camo trap. If he gets in with these double attacks, he's down 616 damage on these crits. Queasy, he gets a couple attacks off, trying to kite backwards. Where's Mango? Mango finally coming to the party right here. Queasy dropping down low. The Fearsome Shade ripping through Impunity right now. And it looks like Cote d'Ivoire will go down. The trespass stun right there. DefQ spawning right at this moment prevents the ace, but it will take a miracle play to stop Rox from closing this game out.
He's going into the jungle. He's going to run right past them.
Ordained, he'll block that one off.
Are they going to chase?
Rox have the position. It's just time for the kitty cat to run through the jungle. The second stun coming through with the gauntlet. Ingenious, he's going to move forward. He has his minions there. Ingenious most likely will just be closing out this game here. We have to keep our eyes on this. But yeah, Ingenious, he's into the base. Queasy's not going to respawn right here.
Wow.
Rox Armada, with their back against the wall, pull this one back. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Rox.
What an absolute emotional roller coaster that these teams have just ridden. A roller coaster where the picture finish was Rox crushing that Vein Crystal. But holy moly, did Impunity look good during that game. And there are so many questions right now to be asked about Rox Gaming's performance. They will play against Tribe. Next on up, the absolute dark horse of North America, the team that has the biggest live buff when it comes to competitive play. And Rox looked shaky against a very confident, a very fueled, a home ground driven Impunity. It is an insane Group C. Potentially the group of death sat here all along, who knows?
I mean, when we saw these groups originally get drawn, this was one of the groups that we knew was going to be incredibly strong. Now, we've seen what these teams can do here in this first matchup. Like you said, of course, when Tribe gets out here, we're going to learn a whole lot more, but wow. Impunity showed us their guts. Rox hanging in there, and how good does it feel to be? We talked about bringing in Ingenious. If you lose that game, what does it do to your morale? But to win this game really means a lot. And
you know what the potential of the next matchup is? If Tribe and Rox go one apiece, then we get a full reset of our round robin. The tie break is 3-way. And so it just gets even more insane from that point
I'm glad I have you
missed.
here. I just yell about things. I let him count and remember as well. Some people pretty good at making predictions and counting themselves. Our analyst back at the desk, Munchables, take it away.
That was one of the most intense games I have ever watched in my life. That moment when Impunity managed to get the ace, I think it was like 20, 22 minutes into the game, and then tried to rush the Vein Crystal. That could have been the moment of glory, but it was this far from their destiny. Rox Armada managed to turn it back around. Impunity kept coming in dribs and drabs, but Rox Armada managed to put their foot down. They go one apiece in this series. But what a group Group C is turning out to be here, gentlemen.
Yeah, just amazing. I mean, Impunity played their hearts out. Even they were down 4 deaths, they got the first turret. Yeah. They sneak a Kraken, just making these crazy comeback plays. And you know what? The one word I got for them is decisiveness. They played so decisive. I mean, it's amazing to see this team really shine. And I underestimated SEA. You guys played phenomenal.
Yeah, that was incredible. And I think we have to start almost with the very end of the game when we go back and analyze it. The last play by Rox, the decision from them was so creative to have just one member on the Kraken while the other two had the patience to sit up in that lane brush and wait. They waited so long. They saw Churnwalker go past. They didn't reveal themselves. They knew that the Kraken was spotted out, that they knew that Impunity knew it was being started, but they sat and waited until Kestrel made the move to try and go for an aggressive position, and they just laid in wait and picked off the kill. Yes. It was so intelligent from Rox to just have the patience to sit there.
One thing I want to add real quick is as soon as Kestrel active camo, PQQ vanguarded himself to take her out of camo so engineers can land the double shot jump jets. I mean, that was just crazy play by Armada for sure.
Honestly, when we look at this game, on both sides of the scoreboard, the mechanical plays coming out from both teams, as well as the coordination, the teamwork, the mind games coming out, this was one of the most high-level games of Vainglory I have ever seen. I mean, Iraqi Zoro, what were the highlights for you? Because there were so many highlights across
there's so much to break down about this game, but I guess we'll start at the beginning. I mean, it started with Impunity playing very aggressive, like they needed to do with their composition. But at first, they didn't play it very well, and actually, they gave away kills over to Rox Armada. This replay we're watching here is a little bit later on in the game when Rox Armada pushed in with the Kraken, managed to kill the Koshka, but an incredible play with the Trespass. You can notice right here, stunned Baron just long enough for the Kestrel to clean up, and they ended up pushing in to try and finish the game right afterwards.
That was one of the most hype moments I've ever experienced.
Yeah, that was crazy.
The audience in here exploded when that Trespass got the stun, when they managed to 100-0 the enemy. Honestly, unbelievable moment. And it's like you were saying in the last game, Bacon, that you had a new favorite moment in Vainglory history. That was in game 1. If that was the new favorite moment, then game 2 just blew that out of the water.
Yeah, it has been phenomenal thus far today. to be here in Singapore and listen to this crowd. But I want to go back to what Razer was talking about with the early game, the aggression coming out from Impunity. Even though they were giving up kills as a result of that aggression, they were still finding the jungle camps and stealing away these camps consistently. They had a gold lead despite being down 4 kills to 0. And just goes to show that even in the early game, if you're giving up kills, as long as you're getting something for them, as long as you're stealing away the camps, especially early on, just stealing away a camp or two is worth the gold your opponents are getting for those kills. So I love the aggression from Impunity early on, even though it would have been great to see them get away without giving up with the kills and getting that Baron a little bit accelerated. I love the fact that they're willing to go for those aggressive type moves.
And also what was very interesting to watch was that Rox Armada actually played around Ingenious even more than they played around Druid last game around. The Batiste went for an Echo second item instead of the Clockwork, meaning that he wanted the second Fearsome Shade to keep the Baron even more protected and sacrifice more damage that you could usually get with the Clockwork. So Rox Armada really put all their eggs in the Ingenious basket.
Yeah, they certainly did, and paid off for them here in game number 2. Honestly, this game is the ultimate game which makes me wish that this was a best-of-3 series. I wish so badly we could have more of that action, because both of these games absolutely delivered so far. But our next game is going to be in the same group, and it's going to be just as hype of a matchup. We're going into Rox Armada up against Tribe. Now, Tribe, they also tied with Impunity. Dowsy said it on the caster desk. If this series goes to a 1-1, we have a tiebreaker on our hands, a 3-way tie. In that scenario, instead of a best-of-2 round robin, there will be a best-of-1 round robin that has to occur to decide who will be moving on out of the group. And quite honestly, with how these teams have been playing across the course of today, I will actually not be at all surprised if we have a tie here in Group C.
Yeah, it would not be surprising whatsoever. But at the same time, it wouldn't be surprising if this is decisive as well, because Tribe and Rox, both of them have looked shaky, but they've both also looked strong. If you go to the alternate stream matches, again, that 1-to-1 against Impunity, we just saw the same thing here for Rox. So if this is a 2-0, the group is decided, and whoever gets those 2 will be in the first slot with Impunity in second. So Impunity are in a very good spot after that series to make it out of this group.
Tribe is also a team, and as we see them on the screen right here, Mac3, DNZO, and T-Tigers, Tribe is a team that is very decisive when it comes to how aggressive they play in the early game. Rox Armada showing distinct weaknesses when it comes to the early game, and especially in the first game when Impunity just snowballed them out of control. So if T-Tigers gets on a hero such as the Kashka that we saw, he's gonna run over Mango in that jungle. So Rox Armada will need to be very careful in terms of what they give over to Tribe in the draft.
Yeah, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but Rox Armada, in last year, they had the best objective game of any team. The pressure they put on jungle and their objectives to end games within 10 minutes or under 15 minutes before the Kraken even spawn. Now, the objective game is kind of their point of contention. You know, they struggle to defend, actually, their own objectives, and I feel like that's a weakness that Tribe can probably exploit.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, Tribe is a team that we know is decisive. They are proactive. They are more than happy to make things happen, especially in the early game. Zoro, you were just talking about T-Tigers. He's the kind of player that will take complete control of an early game if you let him. And it's going to be down to Rox to match that pressure in the jungle and make sure that T-Tigers can't just do whatever he wants across the map.
Yeah, and that's going to be the difficulty here for Rox, because from what we saw in the first series from them, they won't be able to deal with that level of aggression if Tribe plays the way that we know that they can. So they're going to have to step up and play much closer in the early game to what they did in game number 2 against Impunity. But even then, getting the kills is not enough. You need to be able to stop your opponents from invading your jungle, getting the kills, and then taking something else as a result.
Another important thing to note out is that while Tribe did go 1-1 against Impunity, that was off this live stage right here. And we know this team is so known for becoming a much better team when they're on the actual stage playing in front of the crowd, because they just feel much more pressure, but they excel under that pressure.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And I think we have to take a moment to talk about Dienzio when you bring up that topic, because every single time we're at a live event, especially the Summer Unified Championship in Los Angeles, Dienzio was one of the best players at the entire tournament. I think Gabe Vizel probably won the title for the best player at the tournament, but Dienzio, I would say, was a close second. He was playing out of his mind the entire time. They went to 4 games in the final as well, almost managing to make a shoe-in for it. So when you see him on the world stage, you got to assume that maybe he's even stronger than that coming on through.
And there was one thing I was curious about here.